You can feel the energy inside this building and also across the street. The NFL Draft has finally arrived.
With the first pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select.
And so it is. The assumed is really happening.
Welcome back. This is the People's GM channel, and I am the People's GM. In case you don't know what we do here, we take over your favorite professional sports franchise as the general manager, go in, make the moves you know they should make, and they would make if you had a great person in charge like me. This week we're doing all 32 NFL teams, as Thursday night is the 2021 NFL Draft. Now you can see here what we're using today is the PFF, or Pro Football Focus 2021 NFL Draft Simulator. It's amazing. Go check it out. It's well worth your time. I've spent hours upon hours on there, obviously. But right now we're going to do the draft for the Arizona Cardinals. A team on the rise, team with a great young quarterback. Got lots of talent. Sorry, my dog's running around behind me. So let's take a look at their two deep right now. Kyler Murray, dynamic starting quarterback. Chase Edmonds, James Conner, okay. Got some talent at running back. Receiver, got one of the best in the league, DeAndre Hopkins. AJ Green, the veteran signing. Christian Kirk, another young guy, speedster. Max Williams, kind of a dynamic tight end. We're going to continue to work on that offensive line. You can see we've got some players. Defense, big offseason signing. J.J. Watt, still got some gas in the tank. Isaiah Simmons, young linebacker. Budda Baker, making plays in the back end. Malcolm Butler at corner. A lot of players here. So Arizona Cardinals, 8-8 last year. Really, really close to knocking through, getting in the playoffs, and making some moves. So let's dive right in. We're going to enter the draft. You can see the settings here. And let's see what we can do. We got our first pick coming up at pick number 16. Don't have a ton of picks here, so we may be looking to trade back and see if we can make some moves. PFF says we need defensive interior linemen, cornerbacks, and tight ends as our greatest needs. Let's take a look at what we've got. We've got the second and third rated offensive tackle. We got the third rated wide receiver. We got the second rated cornerback, third rated cornerback. Lots of options here in terms of talent. But let's take a look at the trade window and see what we can do. Looks like the Chicago Bears are offering a trade, so they're going to want number 16. Let's see if we can't extract some real draft capital out of these guys. Let's go 22, 52, 83. Let's go with a little 3-1 trade to move back 4 spots and see what happens. Gosh darn it, we're just robbing people out here. Makes a ton of sense for them. They move up to get whoever it is they want. We move back. We're still going to get one of our guys. Let's take a look and see what they did. Moved up to take Vera Tucker, tackle out of USC. Questionable, but okay. We're back on the clock. Here we are. We've got a great offensive tackle available, good receiver, great cornerback options. We've got J.C. Horn out of South Carolina, physical set. More importantly, the mindset, press man corner in the NFL. We lost Peterson in the offseason. Not great, but at the same time, one of those things we got to look at cap. We got players. So we've just got to move on, right? So zone-heavy scheme would fit Newsome a little bit better. Projected third round. These are both great options here, as well as Christian Darrisaw. Now, again, PFF isn't saying we definitely need a tackle, but first-round potential might be hard to overlook him. With that being said, the pick is in. We're going J.C. Horn. We're taking a starter off the board, putting him on our defense at cornerback. Next pick coming up is going to be number 49. Then we're going to have 52. So we've got to get 2 more starters out of here. Tight end, defensive interior, and cornerback. We've got 3 trade offers. Packers want us to move back 13 picks. We'll see what's what. Let's take a look at who's available here at tight end, as well as defensive interior and cornerback, which we've already addressed. So we're going to kind of ignore that for now. A lot of defensive players here. A lot of playmakers. Might be worth taking a look at another trade back. If you watch the channel, you know I love to get that draft capital now and next year. Let's see if we can't squeeze out some serious draft capital out of the Green Bay Packers. They didn't love it. Let's try one more time. We're going to get a 3-for-1, 62nd pick to 142, and next year's second round pick. probably don't want to give it up. Let's see if they'd be willing to give up a 3rd rounder for next year. They're not. What about a 4th rounder? This is probably going to be our last offer. All right, we have one more trade offer in us. Let's go 5th rounder, 62 and 92. Actually, let's go 6th rounder. Let's see what they say. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. We drop down 13 picks, but we get another pick in the top 100. Allows us to get another starter. 6th rounder for next year, which we can use to trade back up in this draft or again next year. Now, we only had to drop back 3, even though we gave up that pick. Let's see. Okay, they came up to grab that safety, Jamar Johnson out of Indiana. Quite a player. Now, for us, we're taking a look, and let's see what we've got. We've got 3 more trade offers that want us to drop back to 66. That's not going to happen. Now, Kadarius Toney, interesting wide receiver, really dynamic guy. Not necessarily on our list of things we need. However, Dyami Brown, same thing. Got a center, Landon Dickerson. Not going to be able to contribute right away because he's coming off an ACL tear, but definitely dropped in terms of potential there. This makes a lot of sense. We've got to go need, but we also need value. Now, we've got Aleem McNeil, defensive tackle out of North Carolina State. There it is right there. Nose, 6'2", 320 pounds. You see the grades, explosive. This dude is a playmaker. At the same time, Javon Holland, even though we've taken one, is really a starting caliber quality corner in the NFL right now. So does that make sense? Do we go offense, a little bit off script here? Do we go tight end? Let's see who's available at tight end. Still got a couple good options at tight end. I think we've got the 52nd pick here. That's it. The pick is in. We're going with our boy, Aleem McNeil, out of North Carolina State. We're getting great at the interior defensive line. As you've seen, if you watch the Super Bowl anytime in the last 5 years, that defensive line is critical to success. So we're back on the clock here at 62. Jacksonville Jaguars clearly want to jump up and grab a player. Now let's take a look at who's available here. We've got Joseph Osai, good defensive end out of Texas. Creed Humphrey, again, good thing there. Najee Harris, interesting running backs here. I would say let's take a look and drop to 65. See what they're willing to offer us for those 3 picks. That's a 3-for-1 with draft capital. That's not going to happen. Let's see about this pick. They'd be crazy not to. Boom. Let's go. We dropped 3 picks. Let's see who they scooped up. Creed Humphrey off the board. Okay, yep. About as expected. 2 edge rushers and a center. Now, good news for us is we need some dynamic. We need something special in the backfield, and we got a couple of options. Runner and receiver. Boom. There it is. Najee Harris, 6'2", 230. Senior out of Alabama. Also, Travis Etienne, plug and play NFL, but he's the most dynamic threat at the position in the class. So it's just kind of one of those things. So it's like, okay, again, his numbers fell, but their offensive line wasn't very good this year. So I mean, look at this consistent production this dude has had. We are going to go running back. With that being said, the pick is in. We're going with the Alabama product, Najee Harris, running back. A little bit off script, a little bit out of the box of what they thought we would need. But again, we've got to make plays. We've got to get players. We are too close to this stinking playoff run. We've got to make plays where we can make plays. We're going to look at those tight ends yet again. Again, these 3 guys right here. Tommy Tremble, really a blocking tight end. Not going to produce a ton in the passing game. We're going to want a little bit more out of that. Again, could be a great second tight end if we had a great antenna. Again, Max Williams, productive guy, 8 receptions, 102 yards, not great last year, but again, one of those things where he can potentially be a producer for us if we want him to be, but we really need a well-rounded guy there. So really, Tommy Tremble, not a great fit for us at tight end. We've already addressed that defensive line and that cornerback at this point. Let's see where we're at. We're at 83. Cleveland wants to give us 91. We're going a 3-for-1 trade. Let's see what they say. They didn't go for it. We're going to go for another 3-to-1 trade. If they're not going to take a 3-for-1, we're not going to be interested. That's just the way there it is. Now, again, this is why I'm here. This is why I have taken over as the GM of the Arizona Cardinals. we're making moves because we need starters, but also at the same time, we need a lot of players. We got to build our depth. We got to get better across the board. We're taking a drop back. We're still going to get the guys we want. Tommy Tremble off the board, which is fine because, again, it wasn't a great fit. Cade Johnson, Brady Christensen, some interesting picks here. Now, again, we've got some great options here. We're at 89 and 91, so who's behind us? Vikings are right behind us. Again, let's look at those tight ends. Hunter Long, I think he's still going to be there. Brevin Jordan, so we don't need to quite look at that tight end yet. Now, again, talking about value, this is how teams win Super Bowls. They take players that fit, but are also great value. We've got two of them. Josh Palmer, 6'2", 210-pound receiver out of Tennessee. Size, studness, ball skills, play strength to be a starter. His tape is better than stats suggest, right? So again, cons, not going to shake many, but that's okay. We've got DeAndre Hopkins. We need to get a compliment. We need to continue to build, give Kyler some options down there. Now, the other thing is we've got Joe Tyrone, defensive edge, defensive end. Again, they didn't play this year, but 6'5", 260. There it is right there. So his physical stature's there. His production's not quite. But again, is he a guy we can coach up and get some major production out of? Same thing with Patrick Johnson. A little bit less production than desired. That being said, the pick is in. We're going Josh Palmer. We're getting weapons. AJ Green's a stopgap. He's not a long-term solution. Now, again, like we said, we got 2 picks here in a row because of the moves we already made. Now, here it is right here. Hunter Long, well-rounded, Boston College. Brevin Jordan, again, probably a little bit more upside, right? So super speedy, right? But again, will he really be a tight end, or is he more of a thing? We need a guy who can block. We need a guy who can catch some balls. Briley Moore is another one, kind of like Hunter Long. Good production. Again, not a ton of targets. 6'4", 250. Decent blocker. But we've got to address this. With that being said, the pick is in. It's Hunter Long. It's not surprising. We're taking the tight end out of Boston College. We're making moves. Now, again, we've already taken our running back of the future that we really need. So we're in a great spot to be able to continue to build on that momentum. Again, cornerback, defensive interior, these are critically important positions. So let's look at defensive interior. Let's look at the edge. Let's go ahead and look at linebackers, and let's look at corner, because we can never have too many corners. So you can see right there, top 4 right there, defensive line. It makes a ton of sense here on the big board. Again, opted out Patrick Johnson, Tulane. Again, such high level of innate pass rushing talent. You know, he's going to get the job done, going to need some coaching. Again, kind of just one of those things. 10 sacks, double-digit sacks, 2 out of 3 years. I mean, it's one of those things, you know, they're concerned about who he played against. But again, as you know, if you've ever watched the channel, playmakers come in all shapes and sizes. They come out of schools out of all shapes and sizes. So do we go with kind of a little bit more refined? Do we go with the potential? The pick is in. We're going Patrick Johnson, defensive end, out of Tulane. Let's get him on the board. Bing, bong, boom. Now, here we are. We're back on the board. We've got some great talent available across the board here. We're going to look at safety. We're going to look at corner, continue to build that depth, see what makes sense. We've got Wild Goose out of Wisconsin, Tyson Cable again, Georgia product. There it is right there. Will he ever come close to getting there? So tons of innate talent, but can he do it? He's not very big, 6'2", 185. We're going to have to put some pounds on him, see if he's the right dude. So let's get rid of safety. Let's just look at our corners, see who's available. We've got some good players down here that are probably still going to be available later in the draft here. So it's one of those things. Do we really want to take that? I don't think so. So let's look overall at best players available and see what we've got. With that being said, Adewuzuwasa, definitely not how you say his name, out of UCLA. Run defender, different alignment, come along as a pass rusher. This guy's got a ton of talent. The pick is in. We're taking the big boy out of UCLA. We're building that defensive line. We're getting better across the board. Again, this is where champions are made. You get past that 100 players, 150 players in the draft. You start finding guys that fit your scheme that are going to contribute right away. This is how Super Bowl teams are made. It's depth across the board. Now, We're back in here already. There's a couple real tasty picks. We've got Josh Myers, again, center out of Ohio State, could come right in, be useful. Northwestern, Spencer Brown, again, more of a potential guy than production. So, we're looking at production versus potential. We've also got Jamian Sherwood, safety out of Auburn. Again, this is a guy, 3rd round grade on him. We're way past that. I mean, again, he's kind of a tweener. He's going to come down and really probably play, he's a nickel linebacker, things like that. But he's a guy that potentially could be great for us. Same thing, KJ Stefferson, Jacksonville State, quality of competition, but was productive. The point is, we got a lot of options here where we could go. And with that being said, the pick is in. We're going Sherwood. We're taking the safety linebacker hybrid out of Auburn, seeing if we can't get this guy in the roster, making plays left, right, and sideways. Now, we're going to look at a couple more need positions. So we've already picked up one tight end. We've already picked up some corner, but we're going to take a deeper look here at our corner and tight end prospects. So we've got Rodarius Williams out of Oklahoma State, and see what they have to say about that. So the rest of it, you can start early for man-heavy teams, right? So he clearly got better this year. That's what we want to see. 6 foot, 195, not a small dude, can stand up to those NFC West or NFC everywhere kind of players, which is great. Now let's isolate down a little bit more just to the corners and see what we've got. Gene Charles, again, Appalachian State guy, concerned about the level, but again, think he's probably a player. Zach McPherson, Texas Tech, kind of the same thing. A lot of options here. That being said, the pick is in. It's Rodarius Williams. We're getting another corner. We've got to address this. We've got to get better in that secondary to give Kyler a chance to lead this team to a Super Bowl. Now we got 3 picks left, all in the high 200s. So again, this is yet again where championship teams are made and championship rosters, like me, differentiate themselves. So we've got a bunch of interesting opportunities here. Kylan Hill out of Mississippi State, man. Talk about a guy I love, right? Physical tools. Can he fit in? Do we need another running back? We're kind of jammed there. We've got Harris coming on. Does it make sense? Buddy Johnson, again, another guy. 6'2", 240. Again, kind of middling grade. Not a great coverage guy. Again, a little bit more of a run stuffing kind of guy. Michael Bennett, center out of Penn State, and Drake Jackson, again, good interior offensive lineman type dudes. But what we like here is a Tony Pauljohn, right? So tight end out of Virginia, classic number 2 tight end, right? That's okay. He's giant. He's a blocker. The pick is in. We're taking Tony Pauljohn out of UVA. We are going to put another guy in that tight end room. We're going to get that competition going. Let's see if we can't get better. Use them in the run game. We've got other options. So let's see what we can do. Now, back at it. A lot of offensive tackles available here late in the draft. You've got interesting tight end prospects. You've got interesting edge prospects. We're going to take a look at the linebacker court and see what we've got. Gosh, he's still available, which we love. The pick is in. Let me introduce you to Riley Cole. Cole attacks well in the run game, doesn't disengage from blocks, right? So that's okay. Again, lower competition. We're going to coach this guy up. He's a playmaker. We're bringing him on board. He's going to play special teams for us, which you hear a ton if you watch my stuff because special teams matter. He's going to be a roster guy. Now, we're also looking at one of these, right? So let's take a look back at the depth chart. We got Colt McCoy, a career backup. So we're going to take a peek at quarterback, see if there is a guy that can be that long-term backup for us. A little bit different. Kind of a gunslinger guy, giant guy. Ian Book, well-polished guy. The pick is in. Last pick of the draft for us. It's Ian Book, quarterback out of Notre Dame. We shore up our backup quarterback for the next 5 to 6 years. Now, so as you can see, they're going to grade us. If I haven't already said that, they're going to grade us on each individual pick, including the trades. And then also what's going to happen is we're going to look at an overall grade. So right off the bat, we traded back from 16. We got a 3-for-1, A-. Got our guy, J.C. Horn anyways. Immediate starter right off the bat. Next pick at 52. Still can't believe he was available. McNeil out of North Carolina State. Our freaking guy. A-. Gotta love that there. Then we traded back twice because, again, we had some picks in there. Again, got some capital for next year, got some capital for this year, and got our boy Najee Harris. Now, they didn't love it, probably because they're looking at it like you don't need a receiver, you don't need a running back. However, again, this is why I'm here. This is why the People's GM is here. We're taking a look at not only this year, but out into the future. What are the picks that make sense regardless of what people are going to say? And these stinking make sense. You get a playmaker in the backfield. You get a playmaker on the perimeter. He's a guy that's going to learn behind A.J. Green. He's going to learn behind DeAndre Hopkins. He's going to come in and make some plays for us. That's a great pick. I don't care what they say. We traded back again, 3 for 1. It's just too much draft value to not do it. They see it, the B+. They love the Hunter Long pick, which they should. That's need. That's great value at 91. We're scooping up a guy that can come in and play for us right away. Max Williams, again, kind of seen. We know what he is and what he isn't. So, again, Hunter Long just gives us more competition in that tight end room. Patrick Johnson's going to be a specialist guy, play some edge for us, maybe play some special teams. Osa out of UCLA, big player, coming in, shoring up that interior offensive line. They didn't like Jamie Sherwood, which I find surprising because, again, I think that's great value. Again, he's a roster bubble guy. Is he going to make it? Is he not going to make it? But, hey, we just need to continue to build depth, and maybe he's a contributor, maybe not. Rodarius Williams, again, same thing. Great value late in the draft. Our dude, going to help us. Tony Paul-John, again, we're bringing competition to that tight end room. We've got to get better. That's great that we're improving on the perimeter. Tight end's a critical position for us to be successful in the run game and the pass game. We're getting our boy Kyler Murray all the options he can handle. And again, Riley Cole, linebacker out of South Alabama. Again, I just think he's a player. Plain and simple, I think he's a player. I think he makes this roster and he contributes. Again, Ian Book coming on as probably our third quarterback, maybe sneaks into that backup role, hopefully in the next year. He's a cheap backup for the next 5 years. He's available. He's a savvy kid, good pedigree, coming out of Notre Dame, able to come in if he needs to, play smart football, and win us some stinking games. So, overall, A-, another one in the A's for you, boy, the People's GM. Least shocking thing ever, because I'm out here making the moves we all know our teams should. So, again, to recap, we got starters, we got depth, we got players, we got some draft capital for next year. It just makes sense. You're welcome, Arizona Cardinals fans. Arizona ownership, if you want to call me, let me know. I can be there Thursday, help you guys take this draft to the next level. This is the People's GM channel. This is the 2021 NFL mock draft for your Arizona Cardinals. Tune back in. We're going to be doing the rest of the teams. Most of them are done. We're going to have all 32 up before Thursday, so you can take a look, get a blueprint of what your team should be doing, and that way you can call them and let them know, this is stupid what you did. Why didn't you watch the People's GM? You would have seen the blueprint for success. Until next time, thanks, guys.